Hey guys, welcome back, and today we have another week of box office, so let's get into it. Up first, we have Juliet, which went from 100% last week to 91% this week, and 1,276,642 to 922K. A very significant drop, and we will have to see what happens in these next 2 months now that the holidays have ended. I know they have Charlie D'Amelio, and they have a couple of stunt casting in the cast right now, so I think it will be fine. But again, it is a show that is relying on stunt casting, and when that happens, it means a show is kind of extending past its, probably a regular lifespan. But we will have to see. But for right now, it's doing just okay. It didn't do that bad in 2024, so it's not like it lost money all of last year. So I don't think it's going to close at the end of 25, maybe in 2026, but I think for right now it's fine. The Louis Armstrong musical, it could close at any minute now, I feel. Last week, 65%. This week, 65%. 500K to 503K this week. Cabaret did very solid, but again, I think this is once again proving why this stunt casting revival thing just doesn't work long term. 99% last week, 95% this week, and 1,412,704 to 1,129,870. Death Becomes Her had 6 performances due to illness in the cast. So this week it only performed to 95% compared to last week's 96%, and 1,253,424 to 1,018,631. Gypsy played to 97% for both weeks, and 1,799,134 to 1,748,927. Still a gigantic hit. Hadestown held very strong with 101% capacity for both weeks, and 1,100,493 last week, and 995K this week. So again, it'll be interesting to see how Hadestown does, considering that they have been relying on stunt casting since 2023, and that's kind of what's been keeping them alive. I would love for Hadestown to go on forever and ever, but the facts are the facts. The show has kind of gotten out of steam, and they've been relying on stunt casting, but hopefully maybe they can turn page in 2025. Hamilton played to 99% this week, and 1,855,573 compared to last week's 2 million. Hell's Kitchen had a surprising drop from 93% to 86%, and 1,206,645 to 1,079,257. So Saoirse Bean leaving has affected the box office, but again, some shows just have a momentum, and then that momentum starts to fade, and that seems to be what's happening with Hell's Kitchen. Despite all of that, I still think it's going to do relatively well in 2025. I think it's just having a bit of a decrease in the next 2 months, but I suspect in the spring and in the summer it's going to do just fine, and again, I think it will be here for many more years to come, so no alarm bells. And even if it goes under 1 million, I'm still not 100% concerned. I think if it hits consistent weeks of under 800K, then I'm going to start getting concerned, but I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe Happy Ending continues to have its happy ending with 98% last week, 932K to this week's 97%, and 876K for a 55K drop, which is not a bad drop at all. It's had very small drops, and again, maybe Happy Ending is doing exactly the kind of numbers it needs to. As long as it has an 8 or a 9 in front of it, we are at smooth sailing. Even if it has a 7, it's fine. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks of 6s. That's not great, but it's okay, can take it. I think they've built up the momentum and the marketing where they're going to be just fine, and it's truly just smooth sailing from here. Mulan Rouge continues to be a stunt casting, kind of like needing that, with 99% last week and 93% this week, and 1,361,876 to this week's 906K. Proving once again they need stunt casting. That's why Boy George is coming back. 6 went from 98% to 91%, and 1,152,028 to 804K. Sunset Boulevard and I believe Nicole was not in this week, went from 97% to 90%, 1,593,868 to 855K. So obviously not a good week for Sunset Boulevard considering how much they dropped. Although this isn't horrible. I mean, if Boulevard was doing these kind of numbers consistently, they actually wouldn't be doing bad per se. But again, it's proving that the whole stunt casting thing has its limits. Great Gatsby is continuing to be a hit with 92% capacity. Last week selling out. Last week 1,889,677. This week 1,543,854, and that's going to go up significantly with Jeremy and Eva both leaving on separate weekends, and then the Outsiders selling out and performing to 1,892,155 last week and 1,455,204. And then Wicked sold out and played at 2 million. So those are the grosses for this week. Like, sub, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.